Welcome back. Must be a slow day for you because you're wasting time on this channel, but I appreciate your patronage nonetheless. All right, today we're going to continue our long-standing series of hard-hitting pieces on blue holes. But we're going to have a little warm-up to get you going, and then we'll get right to the meat of the matter. I would take notes. So Debbie and I are on the dinghy, and we're going to Leaf Key, and it's got a whole bunch of iguanas on it. I just want to go check this out. We got a soft spot for iguanas. So we're coming along to the beach, and all of a sudden, it was the weirdest thing. We come up to the beach on the dinghy, and what looks to be, I would guess, the Prime Minister iguana comes down to talk to us. So we walk right up to each other on the beach, and he immediately says, "I'm here to negotiate the surrender of our island." Like, what in the world gave you the idea we want to take your island from you? So he looks up at me and he says, "Well," I looks out and I says, "Blimey, look at that warship. You know, they're going to be here to nick our island. And there's really nothing we could do about it. We're only like 1/10 the size of you, and, you know, it bloody well won't be much of a fight now, will it?" So I said to him, like, "No, we're just here to take a little video and to feed you." So I could see on his little iguana face that he was completely relieved. And he looks up at me and says, "Well, crikeys, if that isn't about the best news I've heard all day. Tell you what, how's about get you and your wife and I'll take you on a little tour of the island to celebrate." He leads us up the beach a few feet, then he stops, turns around, looks at us, and he says, "Well, pretty much all we do here is just kind of hang out on this beach and wait for tourist boats to come. And some of these tourists, they come out drinking beers and they are pissed. They just start taking food and feeding us right out of their own coolers. Well, I likes that the best." So I look at the iguana prime minister and I say, "Well, that's great and all, but it just doesn't seem like there's enough going on in this island to keep you happy." And he looks at me, gives me this kind of sly little iguana smile, and he goes, "Dang, I want to show you something. Come on, follow me." Brings me up to the top of the beach, and he shows me these two iguanas. And he looks at me and he says, "Well, let me just say that waiting for tourist boats isn't the only thing we do here." "Yeah, we always thought that female looked a little bit dodgy. I wonder how many quid she charged him to go for the old trolley ride." And I see this, and I am, listen to what he's saying, and I am like, holy crap. No, we can't do this. I got in a ton of trouble in my last video for showing what I thought was a solar eclipse. So none of this in this video. See now that I am very upset. And he looks at me and says, "You know, Dan, really sorry about this. You know, you wanted me here, and I brought it right up to 10 right away. I'm so sorry." You can tell he's a little bummed out. You look in his eyes, it's like a light bulb went off. And he goes, you know what, Dan? I think a few minutes ago you told me that you were here to take some video and to feed us. How's about we get on with the feeding part, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's fantastic, you know." I brought like this little black table, and I brought some silverware and plate. I figured we could sit down across from each other and break some bread together. Hey. Then he looks at me and he says, "Oh, that just sounds like the bee's knees, don't it? You know, maybe I'll just taste some of the foods first, and then, you know, if it's good, maybe I'll bring some of my mates over." So I said to the iguana prime minister, "It's a fine idea. Bring them on over. I'd love to meet some of your friends." So they came over. They didn't really speak a ton, but they were all pretty nice guys. Okay, let's get on to business. During the winter, Debbie and I try to spend about 2 weeks anchored down in Georgetown, at the bottom of the Exumas, fairly obnoxiously close to the Chat and Chill Beach Bar. And from there, it's about a 6-minute ride to Blue Hole. Actually, there's 2 Blue Holes, but let's talk about this one. So this Blue Hole is about 25 feet down at the top back edge, and it's relatively deep. And that's why you don't get a lot of people snorkeling this hole the way you do the other one, which is like 200-300 yards away. First time I went here, I encountered this, I don't know, I guess family or whatever of spotted eagle rays, and I was just enthralled by them. I didn't have the GoPro, so I came back the next day, same general tide, and didn't see them. It took me 5 times going back, and all of a sudden I saw them. So I did a whole bunch of dives going up and down with the GoPro to try to videotape these things. So in this particular case, the tide was coming in, and you can tell because there's clear water coming out of the blue hole from the ocean. And in a lot of these videos, you can see a gradient of clear water in front of the blue hole and a little bit dirty out to the side. It's really not half as dirty as it looks in the videos, though. These next 2 videos have this creepy background noise that didn't show up on any other videos I took. The only thing I can think of is that this blue hole is connected to hell, and that's the sound of the tortured souls in purgatory trying to escape. And these spotted eagle rays are the guardians this end of the portal so that the damned don't escape into our realm. Now, I wouldn't spread that if I were you, because it sounds crazy, but I don't know, maybe. So the last blue hole was, well, just pretty much that, a hole. This one is completely different. This one is in a big bay, about 4 foot deep of water. And it's like this huge person took their boot and they started pushing down on the earth. And they dented it in. And all of a sudden, it cracked. And now it's broken. And I'm the only one who knows where it is. And you can get into the earth from it. So the crack in the earth has got to be about 150, 200 feet long. And the deepest I went down, maybe let's say 30, 35 feet. You can see down way, way farther. So this is the only one that I think I'd really want to get maybe some scuba stuff on, just so I go down a little bit and spend some time down there. The other ones are kind of like dark and scary, but this one here, it's wide open. It'd be kind of neat to go down a little bit farther, and then I can go down just free diving. Another cool thing about this blue hole is on the top edge, there's a big coral head. And hiding under that coral head, there were 4 of these massive lobsters. Now, this place is inside of Bahamas National Park, so you can't take them. But I don't know why I didn't go up and down a few times with the GoPro and mess with them a little more than I did right here. I consider that to be a missed opportunity. Okay, so I guess we're going to go back to some more traditional blue holes. This one's on some rocky island in the Exumas. And again, it's pretty much a hole that you can go into. Generally clear water in the blue hole. And this is kind of a cool one. Just kind of, it's within a rocky area, so it's kind of neat to jump in and swim. Okay, so not all blue holes are in the water. And here are a couple of them that are on Eleuthera, kind of an area with lots of rocky caves and some blue holes. And so these are based on land, and they're also kind of neat, but they're not nearly as clear as the ones in the water. On this next set of blue holes, the Constantines were down. They chartered a boat with their friend the Demoses, and Amanda and her fiancé Shubro were down as well. So Debbie and I were showing them all the abacos, which is pretty cool, and we brought them out to this set of blue holes that were incredibly awesome last year because water was crystal clear. Unfortunately, this time we got in and they were murky, and it was kind of a bit of a bust. You could only see maybe about 20 feet down. Last year we came here and it was like crystal clear water. You could see way, way down, and it was insane. So I think I lost a lot of my street creds on this particular mission. So because I dove down, I was the only one who could get into this particular blue hole, and you can dive around through all these little archways, which is kind of cool. And there's all this like green algae hanging off, and if you put your hand into it, like it goes into your like shoulder. It's really crazy. Unfortunately, I'm the only one who was able to see it because I had weights on. I was able to dive down, and of course, I'm a free diver. Everybody else is just a snorkeler. My only hope is that maybe someday in the future, someone on this trip will go there. It will be crystal clear again, and I will be vindicated. All right, so we're going to end this one with the equivalent of a free diver kind of riding off into the sunset. I'm going to be diving down into the depths out of view.
They ran out of pork, so they told me I could have the head.